Well, I think we should start with the official word.
Like the announcement itself.
The announcement.
Yeah.
So the big moment.
Yeah.
It happened on April 9th, 2025.
Recently.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer
Yeah, he was there.
was there.
Yeah.
Alongside representatives from
Okay.
Universal Destinations and Experiences.
Right.
Or UDE,
Hmm.
which, as you may know, is part of the Comcast family.
Right. And Comcast owns a lot of things.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
But yeah, they officially sealed the deal.
Yeah, they did.
So
location.
they've chosen Bedfordshire
Bedfordshire.
on the site of the former Kempston Hardwick Brickworks,
Interesting.
which is just south of Bedford.
I see.
Now,
Yeah.
what's interesting is that Milton Keynes City Council has already expressed excitement over this.
Technically for sure.
Even though Milton Keynes isn't the immediate location,
Got it.
they're only about 20 minutes away. And they anticipate that
This is going to bring significant opportunities.
it's going to spill over to their city.
Yeah. Tourism, local businesses.
Local businesses,
That's
sort of thing.
That's a really crucial point.
Yeah.
Because a development like this, it won't exist in isolation.
No, it's not an island.
It's not an island. It's going to create a ripple effect across the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
So let's talk numbers.
Okay.
Let's get into the numbers.
Look into the numbers.
The sheer size of the investment.
Okay.
And the scale of this project.
Okay, because
we're talking multi-billion pound.
Multi-billion.
This is not a small undertaking.
At all. This is huge.
Yeah.
This is being positioned as one of the largest and most advanced theme park resorts in Europe.
In Europe?
Potentially the largest.
Potentially the largest.
In Europe.
Wow.
It's starting at 476 acres. 476 acres. That's huge.
It's big.
To give you some context,
that's a lot of acres.
What that means.
It's a lot of acres.
It's a lot.
And it gets bigger.
It gets bigger.
Universal is reportedly looking at acquiring even more land.
More.
To expand it to over 700 acres.
Goodness gracious.
I know.
That's a serious chunk of land.
So this is like a
long-term.
They are in it to win it.
Yeah. This is not.
They are not less than
a quick cash grab or anything.
Well, no. And the government is clearly seeing this as a major economic driver for the country.
Yeah, they're projecting that this is going to generate nearly 50 billion pounds.
50 billion with a B.
For the UK economy by 2055.
Yeah, that's a pretty staggering figure.
It is staggering.
I mean, it just highlights how much emphasis putting on this project.
They are.
And how much they're hoping that this is going to benefit.
I think hoping is the key word there.
Yeah.
Because that is a projection that is based on certain assumptions about, the
economy has to be good.
How the economy is going to be doing. And,
and visitor numbers.
Visitor numbers and all that kind of stuff.
Sustained investment.
Right. So it is good to keep in mind that, it's not guaranteed.
Nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah. But it is like a pretty bold.
It's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah.
About their
vision.
Long-term vision.
Long-term vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those of you out there.
The learner.
Yes. We're already planning your trip to this resort.
Booking those flights.
Yeah, booking the flights, yeah.
Let's talk timeline.
Timeline.
When is this going to happen?
When can we expect this thing?
Okay, so here's where it starts to feel real.
Okay.
Construction is scheduled to begin as soon as next year.
Wow.
2026.
Right.
Of course, this is contingent on receiving planning permission.
Right.
But the grand opening is currently anticipated in 2031.
Okay, so we're looking at...
So we're still a few years away.
Yeah.
But, significant groundwork has already been laid.
Significant groundwork on this.
That's a good way to put it.
This wasn't just like an out-of-the-blue
not at all
announcement.
This wasn't some harebrained scheme.
Yeah, there's been over a year.
Lots of feasibility studies.
Feasibility studies and discussions.
Happening
behind the scenes.
Yeah, and that
and Universal actually purchased the land.
They purchased the land
back in December 2023.
Oh, wow.
So they've been quietly working on this.
Yeah, that really signals
for quite some time
a serious commitment to this project. Yeah. This is a big commitment.
And it's really interesting how quiet they kept it.
I know.
For, over a year.
That's pretty impressive.
Them.
So we know it's happening.
We know it's happening.
We know where it's going to be. 31.
We have a rough timeline.
Ish.
Yeah. But what can we expect?
What's
it going to be like?
What can we actually see and do once those gates open?
The big question.
Yeah.
The big question.
The $1 million question.
Everyone's asking that.
Okay, so the official description.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Promises a world-class theme park with several themed lands.
Okay.
Featuring Universal's distinct brand of immersive storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Thrilling rides, innovative attractions.
We're checking all the boxes.
And exciting entertainment.
Yeah.
Plus, they're planning a 500-room hotel.
Oh, wow.
And a huge retail dining.
So not just a day trip.
An entertainment complex.
Right. This is a destination.
Right.
You stay there.
Yeah,
for several days.
Absolutely.
And you do all the things.
Yeah, they want you to stay there.
Yeah. Spend your money.
Spend all your money.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the concept imagery?
The concept imagery.
The concept imagery.
Yeah.
That's always where the really exciting details emerge.
All right, so based on the artwork, it looks like we could be seeing themed lands or attractions inspired by some major Universal franchises.
Oh, this is what we're all waiting for.
I know.
Okay, so spill the tea.
Spill the tea. Okay.
Yeah.
So Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
There's like a really strong indication of a Back to the Future area.
Okay.
Possibly featuring a multi-launch coaster.
Ooh, a multi-launch coaster.
That's that type of coaster that like launches you forward multiple times.
Yeah.
During the ride.
I've been on one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very intense.
Very intense.
Yeah.
Some enthusiasts are even speculating that it could be manufactured.
Oh, wow.
By Intamin. Okay.
Intamin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that it could like break UK records.
Breaking record.
For height and speed.
Wow, that would be a draw.
Yeah, that would be a big draw.
A major draw.
Yeah, for adrenaline junkies.
For sure.
Yeah.
What else?
What
other visual cues stood out to you?
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World.
Definitely a Jurassic World area.
Okay.
And what's cool is there are some striking similarities to the Beijing park in the concept art.
Interesting.
Including this waterfall and this large building that looks a lot like the building that houses Jurassic World Adventure.
Jurassic World Adventure.
Over in Beijing.
Okay.
And it looks like there might be two S&S worldwide shock tower attractions.
Those are the drop tower rides.
Yeah.
So a mix of potentially familiar.
Right, so some things will be
brand new experiences.
But some things might be new.
Yeah, within that Jurassic World land.
Right, they're kind of leveraging successful models from their other parks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Minions area.
There's
a Minions area.
Popular.
Again.
Very popular with parallels to the Beijing park. Likely including Despicable Me Minion Mayhem.
Despicable Me.
The ride.
Yeah.
Which is a very popular ride.
Yeah. All right, what else?
Then there's this really intriguing medieval-themed area.
Medieval themed.
And one of the buildings looks just like the poison apple.
The poison apple.
From Shrek.
Oh.
So this is leading people to believe that Shrek and his swampy friends
you gotta have Shrek.
Might be part of the lineup.
Right, because you gotta have something for...
Yeah, you gotta have...
family-friendly.
A family-friendly element. Yeah. Okay, so... We've got thrill rides. We've got immersive lands. What about live entertainment?
Oh, live entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this venue.
A venue, okay.
Depicted that looks a lot like the Waterworld show arenas in other Universal parks.
Right.
But there are some whispers on Reddit.
Oh, whispers on Reddit.
That it might actually be a James Bond stunt show.
Ooh, James Bond.
What?
Interesting.
Who knows?
What
about the kiddos, though?
For the younger visitors, there's speculation about like a Paddington bear.
Paddington theme area?
Complete with what looks like a giant marmalade jar.
Oh, that's so cute.
And the concept art.
Yeah. They got to have marmalade sandwiches there, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
They got to have the marmalade sandwiches.
Yeah.
All right. So.
What about those big outdoor roller coasters? Yeah, we can see at least two. Large outdoor roller coasters in the concept art.
Right.
In addition to that potential.
The Back to the Future one.
Back to the Future launch coaster.
Yeah.
There's this prominent green coaster in the Jurassic World area that some are speculating could be similar to like the Velocicoaster in Orlando.
The Velocicoaster?
Or maybe even something themed to Wicked.
The music.
The musical. So it looks like they're aiming.
Yeah, it seems like they're really going for a diverse
For really
election of
rides.
Yeah, to cater to all the different different thrill levels.
Yeah. So it's one thing to build all this and have all these rides and attractions.
Yeah.
But how do we actually get people to and from this destination?
Yeah. There's like
getting millions of people.
Yeah, millions of people. In and out.
In and out.
Every day is a massive undertaking.
Yeah, let's talk about...
So what about the infrastructure?
The infrastructure.
Yeah, what do they got planned?
So beyond the park boundaries, the infrastructure around the site is going to be so critical for its success. And minimizing disruption to the local area.
Yeah. You got to think about the people who actually live there.
Yeah.
You got to think about the locals.
The locals, yeah.
So as part of this massive deal, they're planning some serious upgrades.
They are.
To the nearby Wixom's railway station.
Oh, Wixom's.
They're constructing a brand new station.
Wow, whole new station.
On the east-west rail line.
On the east-west rail line.
That's going to be situated close to the resort.
Oh, wow.
And they're creating new slip roads.
Slip roads.
Connecting to the A421.
Okay, so they're
going all in.
Going all out on the transportation.
Yeah. Infrastructure.
Which makes sense because they're anticipating that 40%
of visitors
are gonna
travel by train.
So
they need to support that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. What about the economic and social impact?
Oh, the impact.
Yeah, let's dive into that.
Let's get into the impact of this.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
And this potentially transformational for the region.
Yeah.
So they're projecting nearly 20,000 jobs.
20,000 jobs.
During the 6-year construction phase.
Okay.
And then another 8,000 new permanent jobs. Potentially rising to 10,000.
Wow.
In things like hospitality. And creative industries.
All the support.
Once the resort opens.
Roles that need to be filled. And this is really important for local communities.
It is.
They're expecting that 80% of employees are going to be local. Yeah. So this is
a huge boost for the local economy.
With the local economies.
Yeah. And Universal's also committed to working with
local colleges and universities.
To develop training programs, including apprenticeships.
And then bringing in people from outside.
So it's not just like...
They're actually parachute people.
Yeah, they're actually like investing...
in the local community.
In the local workforce.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which is awesome.
The number of visitors they anticipate is also a key factor here.
Yeah.
So let's talk numbers again.
Yeah, so they're projecting 8.5 million visitors.
8.5 million.
In the first year of operation.
In the first year alone.
I know.
Wow.
Which, if those numbers materialize,
if that happened,
it would instantly make it the single largest visitor attraction in the entire United Kingdom.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's going to obviously have a profound economic impact. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about the local property market?
The local property market.
Yeah. It's going to be huge.
When you have a development.
The property experts are anticipating a boost in property value.
Property values will go up.
And overall investment
will increase.
In the area.
Yeah.
But some experts are saying there could be negative impacts on local renters. And those trying to get on the property ladder.
First-time buyers.
Because there could be increased demand for
people will want
holiday homes, rental property.
Short-term rentals.
Which could mean that local residents get priced out of the market.
Price people out of the market.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword.
It
really is.
Progress,
Progress isn't always...
That's not always
a straight line.
A straight line.
No.
Yeah.
It's not always a straight line.
Yeah.
What are local residents?
What are the locals saying?
What are their thoughts?
Yeah. It's a mix.
I bet it is.
As you might expect.
That's a mixed bag.
Yeah. Some residents are.
Some are excited.
Really excited about the economic boost. And, new job opportunities.
Jobs? Yeah.
But understandably.
Yeah.
There are concerns.
Of course.
About things like
traffic.
Increased traffic.
Traffic's always a concern.
Yeah, it's always a concern.
With big developments.
Strain on local infrastructure.
Yeah,
schools.
Healthcare
services, those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
So those are,
Those are valid concerns?
Valid concerns.
Yeah. But I'm glad that
But they are being addressed.
The infrastructure is being addressed.
As part of this plan. Yeah. So the government has committed to a substantial investment in infrastructure around the site as part of this deal.
Yeah.
We've talked about
the
transportation upgrades.
Yeah.
But there's going to have to be other stuff, too.
There's going to be more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that this development also aligns with broader government objectives to stimulate growth in the Oxford-Cambridge corridor and to further the progress of the East-West Rail scheme.
Right. So this is sort of fitting into a larger regional development vision.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Planning permission.
Planning permission.
Right. Because for a project of this size, it can often be complex.
Very complex.
And time-consuming to secure...
What's the status of that?
Planning permission.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as of right now... The proposals are still subject to receiving planning permission from the Ministry of Housing Communities and local government.
Okay. So that hasn't happened yet?
No.
Okay.
But it is worth noting that Universal did conduct extensive public consultations throughout 2024.
Okay.
And they reported a very high level of local support.
What was it, like 90-something%?
Yeah, 92% of respondents were in favor.
Okay.
So that's going to be
bodes well.
a big factor when the planning application is considered.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also some discussion on Reddit about...
Oh, Reddit, of course.
Yeah.
What do they say?
Whether this will be handled by the local council
or
directly by the government.
Right.
Some users are speculating it might go through the national level.
Right.
Which could streamline...
Which could make things move faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.